Hello and welcome to Gamersledge podcast. Come on in, sit down and relax. My name is Mark. I'm one of your hosts. And joining me this week, as always, from the very, very far Great White North, it's of course Kate. Hi, Kate.
Hello.
And joining us on the bottom or down below, as you're seeing on the right side of your screen, the beast from the Middle East, it's Dave. Or
the Middle East.
The Middle East side.
Beast from the East.
Yeah.
I was actually hanging out there last summer. What you call it? It's oh my god, where in New Jersey is he from?
Battlegrounds too.
No.
Oh, that's
that's something different.
What? The Jersey Shore?
Oh, where Bam Bam Bigelow's from?
Oh, oh my God. Oh, it's
Asbury Park. Thank you.
Asbury Park. Yes, very good. Yes, that is correct. So we have a lot to talk about tonight. Lots of stuff going on. But I have been going for 3 weeks, I think. So I've got my list is as long as my arm. But let's go around the room and talk about what we've been doing since we've last been on the podcast. And we'll start with everybody's favorite person to go first. It's Kate.
Well, I haven't been on in a while either, actually. So, when was the last time I was even on? I was trying to think of what I've done in that time.
Is she doing that for you too, Dave?
What?
Kind of glitching?
Am I glitching?
No, you're fine now.
Okay.
It was just when you started the sentence. Sorry.
I don't think I talked with you guys about Stranger Things at all, so I watched all of that the day it came out. Like, I just watched it all straight for 9 hours. I think that was the last time I talked to you. A dog needs to be kicked off of that feed.
He's being super. He's got a new sweater today, and he thinks he's all that, and he's very proud. Yeah, no. So we still haven't watched it. I know.
Why?
My wife is like, I have to be in the mood to watch that. I'm like, get in the mood to watch that. I don't want it spoiled for me, and I want to watch it.
As a non-romantic, asexual person, waiting to watch things is like... I don't understand. It fails to compute.
So, the thing about my wife is that I enjoy doing things with her because it's like getting to experience it all over again for the first time myself. And in the case of something like Stranger Things, then you get to figure it out together. It's more fun for me together. I'm a social creature than it is by myself.
Okay,
so,
yeah. Like, and as someone who does not want to experience things with other people, I don't understand. It's like
fair enough.
Two alien races trying to understand their social customs.
That's awesome.
You're just like, why didn't you just watch it on the first day? What else? I went and saw Thor Ragnarok.
Nice.
And I kind of wish I hadn't seen it in 3D. 3D was the only option. When the day I went to go see it, I found it a little... Because the movie's very busy in terms of like lots of stuff being on the screen at one time. So I kind of wish I hadn't seen it in 3D. I'm kind of like over 3D. But I would have rather seen it as opposed to not have seen it. Because like I was like, oh, I don't want to watch it in 3D. So I'll have to watch it again. Like... down the like when it's available like on Netflix or whatever Disney streaming service they do at that time.
So did you like it?
I did. I really did like it. And then I went home after that and I caught up on a few Marvel things that I had been really behind on because I was like, oh, well, I might as well watch them. Like, I hadn't seen Doctor Strange, so I watched that. And I hadn't seen Civil War, so I watched that. And
hopefully in the other order.
Actually, I watched Doctor Strange first.
Oh.
Nice.
It really doesn't matter that much, to be honest, now that I think
No,
about
it doesn't matter at all. That's why I was wondering, kind of like, when you asked, it's like, why does it matter? It didn't matter.
It doesn't.
Like, Doctor Strange was okay. It wasn't awful, but it wasn't. I didn't have the same level of hype that I had while watching, like, the first Avengers movie, or, Winter Soldier, or even Thor Ragnarok, where it's just like, it was okay. It wasn't offensive or anything. It was like, just like, oh, it's okay. I like Civil War though, and I can't wait for Black Panther. Like, 'cause now I wanted to see Black Panther anyway, but I hadn't seen any of him in Civil War, and now I want to see it even more because he was the best character in that movie.
Yeah, that
pretty good.
And man, out of like all the trailers I've seen lately, the Black Panther one, like, that's how you do a trailer.
And I didn't even realize that the one playing his, like, bodyguard is Michonne from The Walking Dead. I had no, because I recognize her by her dreadlocks or braids or whatever she has in that show, and here where she has like the bald head, I was like, oh my god, it's Michonne.
Well, plus she's doing a completely different accent.
Yeah, that's true
which
too.
Helps throw you off, but yeah.
But then, like, once I realized it, I was like, why didn't I realize it? Because, like, her face is obviously the same. But yeah, I was like, man, I actually like her bald better than with the long hair. I think she looks really cool. As far as games, I haven't really played that much. I played a little bit of Final Fantasy IX. I am in Gizamaluke's Grotto right now, and in that game, the fast mode is a godsend. Because it has, like, the slowest ATB out of, like, all the Final Fantasies. So having it on fast mode when you're leveling up is really nice. Really, really, really nice. Especially in those painful early levels with, like, Vivi and Garnet, where it's like they do the hardcore.
You mean Final Fantasy? You mean Final Fantasy IX?
Yes, that's what I said.
No, I mean you said the really slow, painful levels, and I said you mean Final Fantasy IX.
The game is like, I still, it's at the end disc where it falls apart. The first part of the game is really good, except for the battle speed.
It's like trying to understand an alien race.
Yeah.
And their cultures.
And what else have I played? Not much. I downloaded today Dead or Alive Extreme Venus Vacation, which is a DMM Japan only game. It's all in Japanese.
Please tell me you saw those sexy screenshots of the glitches.
Oh yeah, the Nightmare Fuel ones.
Oh my god, it's like her face has been extended 27 inches down below her chin.
I haven't had any, it must just be they took a screenshot of the, I don't know. Because I haven't had any glitches, and my computer is not great.
I'm saying right now, I want a machinima of the Assassin's Creed guys with the melting faces talking to the girls from this. And
with their melting faces.
Yes, it's perfect. I want internet, make this happen.
Well, personally, I haven't experienced any of that. It looks fine on my computer. I have it at a lower setting because it actually is fairly high graphically. I have to put it at lower setting or else my computer would just blow up. But I'm like muddling through it right now because I can read a few hiragana, but I'm just like, especially with the ones that kind of look alike, where, you know, they have like the little circle or the minute mark thing on them, where it's just like, I'm not sure if that's ga or ka, I can't remember, and I don't feel like having like my chart there, so I'm just like, let's see what this does. Poke, 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 and it's like, I did something. But as a big fan of the series, I'm obviously gonna play it, so I won't be spending. It's essentially a mobile game on Japanese Steam because it's got all the mobile trappings, like the currencies and, like, you know, the points to, like, stamina points to play and like that sort of thing, and you can buy to like get the loot box or the gacha.
Are you playing the PS4 game anymore?
Yes.
Okay. Have you noticed that they're still releasing new costumes for it?
No, they're not. They just rotate them. They're old.
Oh, so they're just reserving them so they show up at the top of the DLC
every couple
list
weeks,
again.
Every couple weeks they...
That's super smart, actually.
Well, because every couple weeks they'll, like, switch them out. So if you want to... Because there's 9 colors of each DLC swimsuit. So if you want to go back, it's like, hey, I really like this one color, you gotta wait for its rotation time. but there's a way to make it free, so just saves come it, so you don't have to buy anything. But yeah, no, I still play it. I don't think I've played anything else though. I haven't really had much time for games. Like when you work retail, this is a busy time of year.
Is it?
So
what's going on? He says as he realized this week that it's 1 week till Thanksgiving and basically 1 month until Christmas.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
It's like
I'm still like 2 freaking months in the past.
It's Black Friday.
Well, there's that too.
Yeah.
There's that too. Dave,
so,
why don't? Yeah, awesome. Dave, what about you? What have you been up to? What have you been playing?
Well, we've actually played some games lately. I guess the latest would be Super Mario Odyssey. Came out for the Switch, which is fantastic. It's actually probably one of the most fun I've had with a proper Mario game in a long time.
The videos of it look fun.
It is just a fun game. I mean, you're just Mario in a bunch of playgrounds. What's going on?
You're like squeaking somehow. It's rubbing against your shirt or something.
Well, maybe it was doing that. How's that? Is that better?
No.
No.
All right, I'll just hold it here then.
That's worse.
That's actually worse. Yes.
Seriously?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Huh. How about right there?
So far, so good.
We'll just be really still.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So Mario Odyssey is really fun. It's basically just like, it's a Mario playground. Lots of diversity with the worlds, lots of diversity with the challenges. I got through all the levels, and I'm in the, I guess, the post-game portion of it, where you're just getting a bunch of stars and stuff, or moons. Sorry. And it is just great. Tons of hidden stuff, tons of great things to find. I'm actually having fun collecting like all the costumes and everything. Running around with a cowboy hat and boxer shorts is fun. The costume changes actually unlock things. So they actually do have a little part of the gameplay depending on where you're at. So they're not completely useless. It is just a super well done, Nintendo Mario game, reason to buy a Switch kind of thing. So between, the games that have been coming out for that, especially Mario and Zelda, there is absolute zero buyer's remorse from being a day one buyer of that thing.
Yeah, but I do have to question. We have a Mario Kart, we have a Zelda, we have technically 2 Mario games, because you've got Mario plus Rabbids, and then
but that's
Mario.
That is a totally different.
It's a strategy RPG, but I mean, it is a Mario game, nonetheless, ish. But then you have a Mario proper game. What else are we going to get during the remaining lifetime of the console?
Metroid.
Yeah. Metroid, but then what?
Metroid, Kirby, Yoshi, Smash Brothers. My dream, you'd have a couple proper, Wario type games. I'm thinking,
Wario or WarioWare type games?
I'm saying both.
Okay.
I mean, this is coming from a person who just fired up Wario Land 2 again on the Game Boy Color.
Kirby?
We could use another game like that. Kirby, of course.
I think now that this is actually a success, we'll see more support for it than we ever did the Wii U.
Oh, yeah. It already has more.
Yeah.
More.
And the thing is, the good thing is, this is also, this is the DS replacement as well. The next, dude,
they're still making DS software. I think they're going to keep those markets separate. I think it's more going to be like, if you're a grown-up, here's your handheld / thing, but if you're a kid and you want to buy a less expensive thing that you don't mind.
I'm not saying it's not going to be around, for a little while longer, but the next proper Pokemon game is not going to be on the 3DS. So, what's that?
Yeah, there's already been to talk about like when's the Pokemon coming out for the Switch. Like,
yeah, so that's happening. It's coming out. Once the proper Pokemon game hits, and it's an actual Pokemon game, not like some offshoot game. That's the death of the 3DS on that day.
I don't know. They got a new Style Savvy coming this fall, or this on Christmas, actually.
What? What do you mean?
They have a new Style Savvy coming on Christmas for the 3DS. So I can't declare the death of the system yet, because that thing moves a ton of units. And Dave goes, I don't know what a Style Savvy is.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. And also, I said when the next proper Pokemon game comes out, which is still a while from now.
Yeah.
Like, that's not coming out in, a couple months. So we have a while.
Do you think they will ever put out a DS emulator for the Switch? Well, I guess there's no way to take the cartridges, huh?
Yeah, there's no way to... I mean, they don't use the same...
But you could console link. Because it has USB on the Switch. So you could theoretically plug in a cable from the DS to the Switch.
But does the DS have that kind of functionality?
I think the DS does have a... I think you can plug a cable in. I'm almost positive you can. I'm looking up. Because that's...
I've never seen any functionality like that, or a need for it, so I have no idea. So the Mario game got a lot of play. I actually went back and started playing a little more Zelda because the Champion Amiibos came out and they did an update. Mm-hmm. So I do trying to... It was funny, I ran into an issue today where for, I guess, maybe it's a time thing, but all of the Champion Amiibos decided to drop the special helmets today. Well, on the second one, my inventory was filled up because I had some extra stuff from previous unlocks that I didn't sell yet, so I wasn't able to get it. And when I went into the store to sell stuff, because you can't just drop armor in the game, I wound up having to, go back, and the chest was gone, so I have to wait, I guess, another 4 days or 3 days or whatever for it to turn back up in rotation. So, yay. I tried doing the Master Sword challenge, where you unlock the full potential of the Master Sword. Yeah, that didn't go well at all, so...
I'm really questioning the need, to be honest. Because it already bumps up to 60, which is the highest in the game, I think. Other than the bow.
No.
I've not seen this. Okay. I haven't seen one above 60, but...
Yeah, my lowest stuff is 72.
Why? Why, Dave? You don't need that for anything in the game.
Yeah, you do. Did you even fight a Lionel?
I did not fight a train set, no.
Yeah, clearly, because you'd remember that stuff.
Great. No, I don't know what a Lionel is.
Yeah, you'd know.
No.
Those are the Minotaur kind of things.
Oh, that. Yeah. I did, yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you start, just, going around trying to rob them.
Yeah, I could see that, because they are ridiculously strong. I agree.
I mean, I have a weapon from one of those things that is, let me see what it's into the hundreds. But, so I started playing some Zelda again. Still on the DS, the Metroid game. I kind of forgot and went back to that. What else we have?
Did you ever finish Horizon Zero Dawn?
No, that's another one I got to go back to. Oh, Battlefield 2. What is it?
Something.
It's something.
Battlefront 2.
Sure, that.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a whatchamacallit?
When you first mentioned that,
it's 101 base damage.
When you first mentioned the Battlefield 2 in the chat today. I was sitting there going, why is Dave going back to Battlefield 2 to play a war game, a multiplayer online war game, when he does not like online games? And then you were like, Battle Bjorn or something. I'm like, it's not Battleborn. I know he's not playing a MOBA. So what the hell is it? Battlefront.
It's got the lamest name of anything ever. It should just be called generic shooter. If they just want to like go that route.
Star Wars, give me your money too.
Yeah. Well, I'm not worried about that because I'm really only interested in single player.
See, and because of that, I will not buy it until it is at least $20 or less. I also very much actually want to play that single player campaign, but I am not paying them $60 for the privilege of playing just an 8-hour campaign.
Yeah.
That seems excessive.
See how it goes. Maybe I'll play some online stuff if you can do it, or just like friends. So, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen, but whatever. I really enjoyed that the game gave you a little taste while you were like waiting for the download for the day one updates and all that kind of stuff. I went to go into the game and it says, updates are needed if you're going to use the online functionality. And I'm like, cool. I don't care about the online functionality, so let me play the game. I get into the game and it doesn't let you actually play anything. It just gives you basically like a demo level. They call it an arcade level. Like while you're waiting, you can play this, where just like there's a raid on Starkiller base, and you're the First Order, trying to repel them. But it was nice that I was actually able to like go in and play that. So that was fun. But I'm really, really, really terrible at those games. Like I'm playing a single player campaign and I'm dying. Like it's just not going well. So there's a reason.
You're a stormtrooper, is what we're basically saying.
Apparently, you're supposed to be some kind of like super TIE pilot, assassin, whatever. And I was having some fun with it. I mean, I like the sound and graphics are awesome, and like
Well, as long as you're having fun with it, it doesn't matter if you're bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but it's funny now. The challenge is on because Matt said, and he goes, there's a point in that level where you're just supposed to run.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I was like, but they gave me a gun. And he's like, well, yeah, you should probably just run though. And I'm like, no. It's a video game, and I have a gun. Matter of fact, you upgrade your gun at one point to a bigger gun. So that means everybody has to go. Because it's a video game. I'm old school with this stuff.
Good luck with that. Let me know how that works out for you.
Oh, it's happening. I'm determined now. So that's going to be my goal is everybody gets wiped out. You're talking to the guy that I remember back in the day on the Genesis. There was this awesome role-playing game called Buck Rogers and Countdown to Doomsday. Did you ever play that game?
Mm-hmm.
It was this really fantastic turn-based tactical RPG game. It was an early tactical RPG game where like positioning mattered and all that kind of stuff. All I wanted to do one day was go from one point to another and save my game so I knew where to start off. On the way to it, I got intercepted by a pirate ship. So that, starts a big fight. I got so mad during that fight, I just decided to like slaughter everyone on the ship, and that's when I found out that there's actually a way to take over a ship just because you kept killing so many people. And eventually it just goes, okay, we're done here. You have the ship. You killed everybody. And I was like, neat. So yeah, I have a methodology when it comes to playing these games. And it's on. Yeah, it's on now. So
You play it as a murder hobo.
That's right.
It's totally.
Kate, have you played Murder Hobos?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that's awesome! I didn't know you'd play that. Have you played Murder Hobos?
Not all the time. I was running I was DM to a campaign where all three of the people I was playing with were Tabaxi rogues, like the cat people tabaxi, not the human race tabaxi. And they were all murder hobos.
Nice.
So it was a party of cats, essentially, because cats are nature's murder hobo.
Yes, I agree with this. Dave, have you ever played Murder Hobos, the game?
No. It just sounds like something I need to be a part of.
It's absolutely fantastic. It's kind of like a cross between Cards Against Humanity and a role-playing game, but there's like a stick, if I remember right, and everybody has to have the stick, and you try and kill everybody else to get the stick, and you have to be the last person with the stick. And you're all hobos. It's called Murder Hobos. You really should look into it.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I have to check that out.
But you do require friends.
Oh, yeah, that could be tough.
I'm just saying.
Do I have to, like, make friends, or can I try and con people I know?
Yeah, you can probably con people you know. And your wife.
That brings to the other thing. Cards Against Humanity did their annual thing that I signed up for.
Lexi has said that as soon as her check comes in next month, she's going to go there. I'm like, it's probably going to be gone by then because it was already...
Oh, it's already gone. Yeah,
is it? Oh, it's already gone. Damn.
Yeah, that's already gone. But I do that thing every year when they do the crazy stuff because it's like, I don't care what I get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I've had so much fun with that game and like the expansion sets and everything like that. Like anytime we have like a game with that stuff, it's so much fun that I just consider that oh, hey, I love you guys. You know, here's my $15. Do whatever you want with it.
My favorite thing on their website was like all sales are final, and what happens if I want a refund? And it's like, well, we didn't want the president we got in the election, so good luck. We're both not getting what we want. That's hilarious.
Did you see what one of the things they did already? So they bought land on the border between the U.S.
Yeah, and they retained a bunch of legal experts, land legal experts, to tie up any kind of
So it's just really funny. They're just jerks.
They're hilarious, is what they are.
You know, I figure if Congress is going to do like the annoying stuff they're trying to do with like taxes and everything, where they'll be like, oh yeah, you're getting a tax cut, but then we're going to not let you take all these deductions, which will be basically a tax increase. It's just, do whatever you want to do, those people. I don't care.
So I know you guys talked only football last week, so I think it's fitting that we only talk politics this week while Matt's not here, because that's funny. All right, but let's not. There's
no football talk. Well, I really can't talk about football this week. The Eagles didn't play last week, but every team in their division lost, so that's like a perfect bye week. I just want to say that. And we still have the best record in the league.
So I'm not joking when I say that my list is super long, like it scrolls even. Yeah.
Right.
I've been gone for a while.
So. I'm gonna go take a nap then.
No, don't do that. It won't be that long. So I actually went back to Diablo 3, and picked up the expansion so that we could play the Necromancer, and that's actually been really enjoyable. I really like so far what they've done with that. I started playing God of War 3 Remastered. Because I fell down the rabbit hole. The funny part is one of the things about having a significant other who actually enjoys games and enjoys learning about games is when you fall down the rabbit hole of what's God of War, I've never heard of that, and this Dad of War trailer looks really cool, can you tell me about the character? And then you go, oh, well, I have God of War 3 in my library, would you like to see how angry he is all the time? Then she says yes. Then you start playing through God of War 3 Remastered. So that's how that works. I played That's You, which was I think it's still free. I think you can still download it for free off the PlayStation Network. It's a party game that everybody plays, answers on their phones, but it's actually really fun. Good questions as well. It's pretty interesting. We totally cheated it to get a trophy, but still. It's fun. Played the Amnesia Collection, which was this month's free plus stuff. Chariot, which is another couch co-op game. Injustice 2 because I had to see who was the last one they added, Kate?
Hellblade was just released before
no,
that. It was Manta.
Maybe I went on his plate. I don't think I touched it since Sub-Zero. So I think I went to go
Black
check
Manta.
out Sub-Zero. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it was probably Black Manta. But did you see the release
Yes.
trailer? Yeah, so we'll get to that in the news. I'm actually pretty psyched about that.
Did you see the Tekken one?
Yeah. That's also in the news. We'll definitely get to that because that game. I don't want to pay $60 for it.
It's on sale right now.
Is it for how much?
Check Amazon.
I'll go
I think
check
it
it
was
out.
like on huge sale. I don't know if it's still on sale.
Because if it's on huge sale, that's super good. And a Wild Matt appears. Hex Card Clash. I'm still enjoying that game. It's the closest thing to Magic, like good Magic the Gathering that we've had in years on a console. So I'm pretty psyched about it. Fortnite Battle Royale, WWE 2K18, Hand of the God Smite Tactic. I finally played that, Matt.
Yeah.
I actually really kind of dig it. It's
fun.
It's a cross between a tactics game and a MOBA, and I get it, but I like it. Played more Divinity Original Sin 2, Happy Dungeons, Sims 4. Just not one that you would have thought of was on my list, but that's one of my Christmas presents for my wife, and it just came out on console. Well, actually, technically, it's not out yet. I still think it's early access. I don't think it comes out till Friday, if I remember right. But if you bought the deluxe version, then you got access to it like 4 days early or something like that. Clash Royale, and Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Mario Odyssey, and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I do have to say I think Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is probably the best game that Nintendo has ever made as a software company.
I think that's probably a solid statement.
I am also of the opinion that if you play Legend of Zelda first and then play Mario Odyssey back to back, you're going to be a little disappointed because Link has his shield that can glide from high distances, and Mario has no glide. At least not as far as I've made it through the game. And it's really disappointing because there's a lot of times that I actually want to slow my roll and I can't. So I'm hoping eventually there'll be a Tanuki suit or something that lets me straight up fly in Mario. I doubt it, but I'm still hoping. So we'll see. I haven't beat it yet. I'm still early on. Yes. And then the newest game that I have picked up for my phone, Curse You Mobile Games, is South Park Phone Destroyer. And this game is ridiculously fun. I still have not put a dime into it. And it really looks like you don't have to. But it's basically the same premise as the role-playing games on the console, in that the kids are playing a certain type of genre of game. And it starts out on the phone as Cowboys versus Indians, but then people start cheating and it starts to evolve into Aliens and Predator and all that stuff, and it basically becomes sci-fi. So then it's Cowboys versus sci-fi, and then it's moved to Cowboys versus I think it's religious is the next one. So you've got Buddha Cartman and Hermes Kenny, and so you've got all these religious figures that you're fighting up against, and then I think from there it's going to go to what was the last genre? I think superheroes is a thing in this. I'm not positive. I'm still working my way up the ladder. But I have to say that the only thing that I think, like, if I were going to recommend it to Dave or Matt or Kate I know probably wouldn't have a problem with it, but Dave and Matt, the only thing I think you might find questionable is that at the end of every level there's a PvP gate where you go and play against other people. Like, you have to win one match or two matches or three matches. of PvP before it lets you go on to the next level. And that's not really a bad thing, because, at least not so far, because I have rarely lost a PvP match. But anyways, the game is a card-based... It's really hard to describe. It's a card-based tower defense and offense game. So basically what it is you have an avatar of yourself at the left side of the screen. And you then have cards that represent Cartman or Kenny or Butters or whoever. And each one of them is a different class. So you've got tanks, you've got DPS, and you've got range. Which sounds like it'd be DPS, but it's a little bit different. And you can position them wherever you want. So sometimes the enemies come from the left when you're playing the story modes. Most of the time they're coming from the right. In PvP, they're always coming from the right. And there's a halfway point on the screen. And then if you're playing PvP, the other character is over on that side. So it's kind of like a side version of Clash Royale, to be honest. Because there are card matchups which are good against other card matchups, and it becomes this intricate game of rock, paper, scissors, basically. But you want to get your stuff to crush through their stuff and hit their avatar. And whoever's done the most amount of damage to the avatar at the end of the match wins. And the single-player game works the exact same way, except that it's the computer with an avatar, and it's Stan or Kyle or Kenny or whoever. And it's actually super fun. I'm really enjoying it, and I haven't put a single dime into it. I think I'm level 14 or 15 in PvP, and I'm on like stage 42 or something in the main story game. So it's a lot of fun. I recommend checking it out. I forgot it came out, and the only reason I saw it was that I saw an ad for it. And I went and checked it out, and I was like, oh, this is out, and it's been fun. So, it has the pack opening thing where you actually rip off the top of the pack of the cards and then flip them over to see what you got. And they give, I think it's a free pack every 4 hours, and you can get, like, epics and legendaries out of those free packs. I have not gotten a legendary, but I have gotten, like, 3 or 4 epics now out of the card packs. So, it's not egregious in its loot table so far. And then on the watching side, I watched Thor Ragnarok twice. I'm a little bit better now, by the way, about that. For those of you that were in on that conversation, I'm okay with it. It's a good movie. I still think it pales in comparison to the comics, but the two comic storylines that they kind of drew from. But if you don't have that baggage going in, then you're not going to have that baggage walking out, because it's still a fine movie.
Just for the record, I did have that baggage going in, and Mark's crazy.
I have to agree, but you know.
I don't know. But neither of you read both storylines, right?
Yeah.
You read Thor Ragnarok and Planet Hulk.
Yeah, I brushed up on Ragnarok, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read all of Ragnarok, so I don't have all of that. I've got knowledge of the incidents, but I didn't read the actual entire storyline.
I highly recommend it. It's one of the best Thor storylines I think that's ever been written. But I do agree, and without going too far into detail, I do agree on what, like, having watched it a second time now, Dave, what you're pushing, I am buying in terms of what they're doing with Hulk.
See?
I fully believe that is correct.
I think that, and there was kind of a hint.
What are you talking about? I wasn't in on this conversation.
Well, I guess it's not really spoiler. It's
not really spoiler. It's theory.
So we can talk about this.
As long as we don't talk about what happened in Thor Ragnarok specifically.
Yeah. So I think they're moving to integrated Hulk by the time the Infinity Gauntlet fight comes around. And I'm basing that off a couple things, just because I think they're kind of moving toward that direction with Hulk. But I also feel like there was an interview I remember where they were talking about, since they didn't have the rights to do the Hulk movie, they're like, what storylines do we want to do with the Hulk, and how can we spread that across a couple movies?
So actually, to build on that, I actually just watched an interview with Ruffalo where Marvel came to Ruffalo and said, "What do you want to do for that story arc for those 3 movies?"
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
He's the one who actually picked it out. And I actually, from things he said in that interview, I also agree with you.
Yeah.
And they've really actually been teasing it since the end of the first Avengers film.
Sort of. But here's my hope, right? And this is a super long shot, but I really hope that we actually see an evil Hulk. I actually hope we see Mr. Fix-It at the beginning of Infinity War. I hope we see a Mr. Fix-It working for Thanos at the beginning of Infinity War. And that way we can get the true integrated Hulk.
No, that'll be the Hulk after the reality resetting event that will bring all the Fox characters in, so the focus will be X-Men, and then you can have your Mr. Fix-It Hulk.
I will lose my shit. And I know we shouldn't. I will. If that happens, I will lose it to the nth degree. I don't know how they could do that, but I would lose my stuff pretty bad.
All you got to do is get Franklin Richards back in there, and anything is possible.
Well, all you really need to do
universes and bouncy balls.
Professor X. This could have been Onslaught all along.
I'm sorry. They have Scarlet Witch, and didn't she do something like that?
Civil War? I mean, not Civil War. Yeah.
No
more mutants.
No more mutant story.
Yeah.
But
that was.
You're really thinking of, damn it.
Yeah, but it was at the end of Civil War, was it not?
No.
She said no more mutants?
Whoa. That was the end of...
Because it was before the dedicated series. Why can't I remember the name of that series?
I can't either at the moment. House of M.
House of M. Because that was before...
Civil War was after House of M.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then yeah. Never mind.
House of M came out of... Was it Disassembled? No, it was whatever happened between Disassembled and House of M. Whatever that middle storyline was.
We're such comic nerds. Yay. So yeah. Anyways, I fully agree with you, Dave. I think they're pushing for integrated Hulk. I think we'll see that, and I'm actually super excited about that because Banner Hulk's one of my favorites, and I hope they somehow give Peter David a cameo. That's all I'm saying.
Nice. That'd be awesome.
Saturday Night Live, Great British Baking Show season 4. We finished all the Chef's Tables, including Chef's Table France, which is in French.
Yes. That one's a little bit tougher to get through.
It is tougher to get through. That's why I listed it, because that's...
Because I also don't like French cooking.
Have you had French cooking?
Yes.
How do you not like French
cooking? It was just very rich.
Yes. Well,
rich and saucy. Like thick sauce. I didn't care for it.
And we're going to talk about this here in a minute in our discussion topic, but I did want to introduce the idea of I have found stuff that I want to start that I can't even find the time to start. Because there's Blazing Transfer Students on Netflix, Samurai Gourmet on Netflix, Future Man on Hulu, Orville, which I still haven't gotten to start on Fox, Star Trek Discovery, which I didn't want to even give a chance, but now people are saying that it's blowing their freaking minds, so now I've got to go back and watch freaking Star Trek Discovery.
Well, yeah, but apparently you can't. Don't they only have like 2 episodes at a time and they rotate on their service because it sucks?
Mm-hmm. And then I had a weak moment where
gotcha.
I almost wanted to subscribe to the WWE Network, but then I saw some WWE programming and that moment passed. So,
nice.
But I got real close. I mean, like, real close. I don't know what happened with me with that. I got hit by a wrestling bug all of a sudden, and then.
Did you see the ESPN Ric Flair retrospective?
No, but I heard that was awesome.
It was. I watched it. It was actually really good.
Wait, did he die?
No.
Oh.
Almost, but no, he recovered.
Yeah, okay, because I was like, wait, did he die and I didn't realize it?
No, it was like 50 years of him since his first wrestling appearance or some stupid thing like that.
50 years of wooing.
If Mark, I can give you a quick fix for the for having those like urges for like a wrestling thing. They do have some really good like Blu-ray sets that you can get.
I know.
Where they do like where it's just like where it just follows a wrestler, or like the ECW ones are actually really good.
No, the ECW ones I used to own all of them, which was one of the things that made me really sad when we moved out to California because I had to get rid of all of them.
You could have kept those.
I really couldn't. It is so sad. My collection is down to 20 Blu-rays total, and I'm not joking. I think we had close to 400 Blu-rays.
Oof.
And just the DVDs alone, I think I had probably 60 to 70 wrestling DVDs.
Jeez.
And I used to pop those in to watch those whenever I had the fix, because WWE does not do it for me. But, to be fair, I haven't watched AJ Styles since he got on. I'm going down the rabbit hole. Anyways, yeah. So anyways, that's my list. Matt, how about you?
Hold on, real quick. I did forget one thing. I did pick up an SNES Classic, and I was getting around to finally playing Super Mario RPG.
Oh, that game is so good.
Because I never played that, so I started actually playing that on the SNES Classic.
You never played Mario RPG?
I
haven't either.
You are charlatans.
I never
owned a SNES.
Yeah.
There's been ROMs for like 30 years.
Wait, we're not talking about Paper Mario. We're talking about the original.
Legend of the Seven Stars.
The original.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay. Good.
Have you gotten to Booster's Tower yet? It's the greatest video game song in the history of anything.
No, I'm still pretty early in it, so I haven't got there yet.
Mario music.
Nice.
So, I'm so disappointed in you.
What? I never had a Super Nintendo.
Yeah, he believed in Genesis, the clear winner.
I could only afford one, and that was more the stuff I wanted to play.
Sonic.
I chose Sonic and Guns N' Heroes.
He chose Night Trap. Let's be honest here.
That was Sega CD. That was after. And I never bought that game, but I did have a Sega CD. Mainly
wow, you're only the second person I know that have admitted to that.
No, there was actually some really good games on it.
I'm not saying there wasn't, but
5 to be exact, and that was all they made. All 5 of them.
Nah, there was Sonic City was fantastic.
He's gonna go through the list. It's great.
There was a really weird game called Switch, which is actually probably a crappy game, but it was hilarious. Because there was no gameplay to it other than like you just like would literally go into you were this little kid and you go into a room and you'd flip switches. And weird things would happen. And sometimes a monument would blow up. And if too many monuments blew up, the game was over.
It sounds like a day at Roy Moore's house.
Oh boy.
Nice.
So I forgot one. Also, by the way, I forgot that I purchased the Gabriel Knight Sins of the Father remake.
Wow.
And it is really, really good, but maybe I'm shallow, but I can't get over Tim Curry not revoicing it.
Oh.
Because he was the original voice, and it's burned into my head that that's how the character should sound. And so when I hear this guy every time, it's like an imposter parent figure or something. You know, it's like, it's not... like, he'll say a line and I'm like... Yeah, it's exactly it. It's like, you're not my dad. Please stop saying go away. But
voice stuff is... Yeah, it's tough to go back when you have someone... Especially someone like Tim Curry doing it. I mean, that's pretty classic.
Yeah.
It's like I was watching, one of these kid shows, with my son. This cartoon called Blaze and the Monster Truck, whatever. It's like these...
Blazing them up, whatever.
It just has a really long name. But the thing is, I actually ended up liking the show because it gets into science. Like, like of like angles and machines and engineering stuff and potential. They were singing a song about tensile strength. So I'm totally okay with this show, and my kid learning songs about tensile strength of stuff, because I thought he was going to first learn that in Spider-Man. But I'm sitting there listening to Guy, and I'm like, who's playing that guy? Who's playing the lead car? And it's Nolan North. So I thought that was hilarious.
So Matt, what have you been playing?
Well, as I'm late, I really didn't have time to put my list together, so I should have been doing that. But let's see, I finally finished One Punch Man. So finally got through that. One of the best endings ever.
Okay, that was going to be my exact question. Is what did you think about the ending?
Yeah, and, no, that was yeah. I'm going to use my super ultra attack. Okay. It got very DBZ there at the end.
That's why I liked it, because it was like, all right, it's finally starting to move, and then
and then stuff.
I actually that's one of the few anime that I've ever watched where I sat there and go, I need another season of this now. And then I looked it up, and they're like, yeah, we'll get it in 3 years.
Yeah, something like that. So, yeah, no, but that's a very, very well done show. That great action, great animation, great humor. It's just all around very good show. Not very long. It's only like 10 episodes, I think, isn't it?
I think it might even be less than that. I'm not sure.
It wasn't very long. I started watching it and then stopped, and then I just finally picked it back up. I started watching season 3 of Black Mirror finally.
So what do you think about the shift in tone from going from Britain to what seems to be America?
Yeah, it's not as good as it used to be. Without trying to sound like that, it does seem a little bit different. I mean, especially the first episode's almost kind of a retread of a previous episode, which kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And having just watched the Orville Facebook episode, did it better.
I still haven't watched it.
I know. That's all I'm saying about it. But Dave knows what I'm talking about, and he can nod knowingly.
The thing is, we're not giving away anything on Orville, aside from the show being way better than it deserves.
Oh, could be. Hats off to Seth. I mean, I knew he was a geek, but them taglining it as the Orville starring Seth MacFarlane is so underselling that show. It's not even funny.
Because they're doing some hard sci-fi.
Yeah, this is no kidding sci-fi. Yeah, there's humor elements in there and stuff, but this is really science fiction. This is my question, and I'm dying to know, and I can't watch it for exactly the thing that Kate doesn't understand, because I'm waiting for the wife to actually start watching it with me. Is Norm Macdonald's character only comedy relief? Which one's Norm Macdonald?
He's the glob.
The glob?
Yeah.
Wow. No.
Yeah, not really. No. I mean, early on.
I mean that's his initial intro.
Right. I know. Early on, I know that. But he's like that crew member that would probably get slapped with a sexual harassment suit right about now. Yeah.
But there's times where it's not.
Okay, that's all I want to know. Because I was hoping that he was going to be more well-rounded than just a punchline.
Well, he's very round.
I know. Thank you for picking up on what I was doing. Yay.
I think the recent episode he actually turned a little corner.
Okay.
I haven't seen the latest one, so
I gotta watch this and freaking.
It's surprised the crap out of me. Let's just put it that way. I watch every episode going. I don't understand. I don't understand how this happened, and it'll probably get canceled. But
No,
it's been renewed.
Oh, really? Wow, okay, amazing. That's insane. But I guess it's Seth MacFarlane.
So I want to posit this before you move on to the rest of your list. As of next year, we will have Orville, and not one but 2 Star Trek shows. Because they did announce that there is a new Star Trek show coming in, I think, January.
And they're starting up a new streaming service just for that.
I don't know anything about that part of it, but yeah.
So there's going to be the Star Trek, their CBS one, All Access for the Discovery, and then there's going to be another streaming service that's just for this other show.
Accessor?
Yeah, it's just going to be this Star Trek show.
You are just being Dave right now, right?
Yes, he is.
Okay, good. Because I didn't see that, but I wouldn't put it past
I'm still having an issue with a network that has a network, multiple networks. They were just like, no, we need to do a paid streaming service.
Well, Disney seems to think the model's going to work. I wonder if that means all ABC's content's going to leave Hulu, too.
That would be my guess.
Yeah, that's gone.
Anyway, so let's see, what else? There's some random stuff here and there. I don't even remember.
And I know it's hypocritical that I'm okay with the Disney one, but it's because I have a kid. That's not fair. Like, I'm going to have it anyway.
A lot more better content than... Let's see. So that's the majority of the Orville. We watched
the streaming service. They're going to charge you for 3 months and then put the streaming service in the vault for 15 years.
I'm actually curious if they're going to work it that way, because that needs to not happen.
So far, they've only ever vaulted physical copies, as far as I'm aware. So, we're about 2/3 of the way through both Supergirl and Flash last season. So we're still chipping away at those.
Is anybody caught up on Flash?
No, but I whatever you're saying you think I'm going to say about Flash is 100% wrong. Flash is the best superhero show on television, period. And if you're not watching it, or you say it's not a good comic book show, then you don't understand comic books. Stop watching. Go do something else.
Wow, where'd that come from? Why were we accusing you of saying anything bad about Flash?
You said I wouldn't enjoy this season. And I'm like, I don't get that at all, because I love Flash.
No, they ramped up the fun.
Well, that's great. I'm all for that. Because it looks like it's going to be a really dark season, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's a joke because we always sit there and say you don't actually like fun.
You like work, not fun.
Yeah.
So that's the joke.
I find work fun.
That's the same thing. That's the
Can I just insert that clip from Simpsons where McBain's like, "That's a joke."
Yeah.
And then
I wasn't thinking you seriously were going to hate the Flash this season.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, so then you were being Dave trolling me. I got it.
Yes.
I
thought that was clear.
I was trying to see if you were caught up on it so we could talk about it, because I got no one to talk to about this.
No, and I actually blame Netflix for this, because when it was on Hulu, I was able to watch it the day after it aired. Now I have to wait till the whole frickin' season is over before I can start watching it. And then I have a glut of them to watch, and so we still haven't finished Legends of Tomorrow from last season. I made it up through the crossover, but we haven't made it any further than that, so...
That's the only one we are caught up on. Well, no, that and Arrow. So then on the game front, played a lot more Horizon. I'm actually to the point now where I actually need my wife to be there to pay attention, because I have no more stuff to just randomly run around and do. That's that. I know I played a couple other things, but then the big thing is got my copy yesterday of Star Wars Battlefront 2. I don't know why you guys have such a hard time remembering that name, because I don't have any problem with it.
That's not because I don't care.
Oh, well, there's that.
That's all it is.
That's fine. But then stop using the name of other games that actually exist.
But I told him I was so confused why he was playing a multiplayer online World War II, shooter. I'm like, why are you playing that?
Next thing he's going to be playing Battlefield Star Wars Line.
Well, so then he gave some weird name, and I'm like, are you talking about Battleborn? Because I don't see you playing an online MOBA either. It's a little weird.
It's not my fault. If they wanted me to remember it, they should have never named it something so generic.
Well, to be fair, Battlefront was out when in its original incarnation, long before any of the other generic names were. But you know,
it's still boring. It was boring then. It's boring now. All I'm saying.
Anyway, what's not boring is the single-player mission, which is all I've gotten into so far. Made it up to the 4th mission of the single-player mission, single-player story. Very well written, very well acted. You know, they could have. Wow. Okay, so we know the guy. One of the co-writers is the guy that wrote Spec Ops: The Line, and if you played Spec Ops: The Line,
that was good.
Do you know how the story went with that and how the serious tone they played to this? A not good writer could have gone many different ways with this presentation and destroyed it and made it horrible, just because they don't know how to write a bad guy, right? Or someone who's stereotypically seen as a bad guy, or someone who's seen as a good guy but actually turns out to be a bad guy, or somebody who's a bad guy and kind of turns out to be a good guy. I mean, remember, these 4 characters that are part of your squad eat, live, breathe, and die Empire. They are. They're not like, you know, every Imperial you see in the movie kind of comes off as a bad caricature of an evil person, right? They're evil for evil's sake, it seems like. Even just a general rogue admiral on any ship just seems like a giant jerk, right? These characters are much more nuanced written. The music that they play is hugely important to that. They have a score that you could just easily see if these were rebel characters. That score could as easily be applied to them as if they were Imperials. So they're doing a very good job of making you not hate the people that are stereotypically the bad guys. I've heard a lot of people say they have problems not shooting at the stormtroopers. I haven't encountered that personally, but you know, apparently that's a thing for some people. I haven't done any of the online.
If you do, does it?
What?
It doesn't do any damage if it do.
I don't think it does, but I did put it on the hardest difficulty just because this is going to be my primary mode of this game, and I want to just get all the time and content out of it that I can. So I did crank the difficulty. Well, there's only 3 difficulty levels, so it's not like it's crazy. And then, you know, obviously, if we want to get into the whole loot box discussion, I don't know, is that our topic of the week, or are we delving into that?
Our topic of the week is something else.
Okay, good. So, you know, there are many ways to express your displeasure at this whole topic, and, you know, mine is I'm not going to buy loot boxes because it won't matter anyway. I could have all the top tier gear and I would still get pwned like a noob every single online match. So I'm not going to waste my money. But yeah, so honestly, I think it's really only a factor for those people who are looking to be high-end competitive, and everyone else is just, you know, whining because, you know, hey, I got to be part of the most downvoted Reddit post ever. Yay, I don't even know what a battlefield is. See what I did there, Dave?
Nice.
So yeah. So that's been it. The 4th level is the first one where you don't play as a member of Inferno Squad. So we'll have to see how that goes. I didn't get too far into it before I had to quit playing. So that is the kind of weird thing where they break up the narrative so you can play as more well-known characters. So we'll have to see how that goes, if it becomes really disruptive or if it's a worthwhile addition.
So our conversation topic before we get to the news tonight is a gentleman by the name of Daniel Ahmad did a quick numbers crunching. He's part of an analysis group. And according to his research, it's shown that this year alone, as of November, so we haven't finished the year out, but as of November, there have been more than 6,000 games released on Steam this year alone. And that's almost as many games launched as the number of games released between 2005 and 2015, an entire decade in total. It's more than a decade's worth of games released in just 11 months of this year.
Does that count early releases too, or is that only final releases?
I don't know. I would imagine final releases.
Okay.
So the crazy question that I'm interested in looking at this graph is, have the number of gamers increased to feed that demand, or has the number of gamers remained stagnant and there are just more games being developed? That's the other side that we don't understand. But we like to say all the time that there's more content coming out than we can actually consume. And I think this is a telling graph that says, yes, we're not imagining that. That's really the case. We're getting a decade's worth of games or more every single year. Now, that's also not giving a qualitative analysis of the games themselves. So some of them could be 99-cent mobile games that are, free-to-play model, pay-to-win model, whatever. But still, it's a pretty stark number in contrast to everything that got released between 2005 and 2015. It seems like the amount of free time that I have is getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yeah, but mobile, so that's just Steam games?
Yeah. So this is just Steam games.
So double that with the number of mobile titles that have launched this year.
Well, I mean, people have also, even more people have laptops than they did that last decade, so you can still take Steam games with you more than you could have in 2005, because not a lot of people had laptops back then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think... I'm sure there are more gamers, depending on how you want to slice the term gamer. I know I tend to be pretty haughty about it, but depending on how you want to slice the term gamer, you could definitely... I definitely say there's more gamers than there were 10 years ago, 5 years ago. But I don't think they're to that proportion, I don't think.
It's the same thing as, there's so many, TV channels, TV content, with streaming services and specialty networks and all that kind of stuff, that there may not be as many gamers, but they're hitting more niches. Yeah, and
I mean, those games, there's probably a lot lower cost in a significant chunk of those games.
Are getting 1 million users.
Right.
Right.
And hopefully their cost model's small enough that they can still support that. But we also have a lot more, I think, we have, at least I hear this a lot, there are a lot of people that buy a lot of games that they never play because they have, I guess, what you might call gamer guilt, right? I feel like I should be supporting this game because it's made by blah, 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 or it's about blah, 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 or it's of a style that I want to support and make sure these type of games keep getting made. Kind of tied to the story about Housemarque stopping making twin stick shooters, so I would say there's probably a lot of those games may get bought and are never played because, Steam sale or, those other reasons that were listed. But it'd be interesting to see, that number split up more ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I agree that it's really only kind of a quarter of the data necessary to do any kind of real analysis, because you need to know, how many players are there on Steam now versus 2005 to 2015 to make an accurate analysis. And then you also need to know, okay, what's the median average cost of those titles? And then you also need to know what's the total number of hours spent playing those titles. I think that gives you a real clearer picture of what gaming looks like today compared to 2005 through 2015. But there's no way to get that data because Steam doesn't release it. And then this guy worked his way backwards into this data. So I still think it's interesting and it's useful, which is why I wanted to talk about it. But it's not as useful as it could be if we had other data to match it up against. shall we get into news proper? Why don't we? So, Matt, as you mentioned, there's a hubbub about Battlefront 2 and its microtransactions and all that good stuff. The EA devs took to Reddit and an AMA to defend, and they slashed the cost of all characters by 75%. They say they are listening. I think that's true, but I don't think they have a choice but to listen at this point, because it's a pretty big movement. Yeah, I know you feel like people are commenting on Reddit saying I don't even know what a Battlefront is, but boo EA. But I think there is actually a legitimate beef with artificially inflating a progression system like that. However, what's interesting to me is that yes, they reduced the cost of the characters by 75%, but then they also proceeded to cut the rewards given by missions that were giving 15,000 credits. They're now giving out only 5,000 credits. So they're still slowing the progression rate. Even it's a weird give-take thing. I think I will be interested if you ever do start to play the online component, how long it actually takes you to get a free character unlock or get a premium character unlock. If you
and that's the thing too. I mean, this impacts the special characters, which you get to use if you get enough points in a multiplayer match, and someone else already doesn't have the character, and you've unlocked it, and that's the type of thing you want to do in this match.
Really the case?
These are not things that you're going to be playing. You don't play an entire round as Darth Vader just because you unlock them with in-store credit. I mean, this isn't impeding your main character progress. You're going to spend most of the time as one of the 4 archetype classes.
But that's really the case. You can only get it if nobody else has achieved it first on the level?
Well, yeah, if someone else is Darth Vader, you cannot select Darth Vader if that's a valid choice for that. At least if it plays like the beta did. If someone was Darth Maul, there could only be one Darth Maul on the field at a time.
Right, that I get, but I mean, at least in the first game, since it was a token, you had a chance to actually play as that character.
You have a chance once they die. If you happen to be in your respawn window at the right time when the Darth Maul isn't on the field and you have enough credits to buy the Darth Maul, then you can go ahead and turn it on.
And that does not sound horribly insidious to you? Or
I was able to be a hero character a lot easier than trying to hunt down a stupid token that was always gone because all the people who already knew where it was took it all the time.
Okay. Right then. But I would like to know how long it takes you. So if you decide to do that, that is something that I'm just curious more than anything. But I'd like to know that. So yeah, that's an ongoing conversation, and I'll be interested to see how.
There you are, Dave.
Oh, hey, that works.
Oh, hey.
We lost Dave's audio for a second there. Sorry.
So, Matt.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see the Tekken 7 announcement?
I did happen to see the Tekken 7 announcement.
Kate, I know you saw the Tekken 7 announcement. Dave, did you see the Tekken 7 announcement?
I did, but I didn't care. Sorry.
It's okay.
Well, that's normal, Dave.
Yeah.
So
no, that's not true. It's just about Tekken. I'm just not a Tekken player.
So, Kate, I saw. So, first of all, the response when they debuted it was pretty doggone impressive. They were very excited about it. Not as excited about something else we'll talk about a little bit later with Injustice 2. But here's the thing about Noctis from that video that I saw. It seems to me that he is going to be the Akuma of DLC for Tekken because he's got reach with blades. It just seems like he's going to be super overpowered unless his hits do like 0 damage. That's the only way I can see them balancing.
He'll probably do low damage, or he'll be he'll be like Akuma and he'll be a glass cannon.
Yeah,
where it's like true. If you hit him, he's dead, sort of thing, right? Because Akuma has always been a glass cannon in Street Fighter, so they might do that with Noctis too, where it's like if you get someone fairly, or he might be. He didn't look really slow.
No, he did not.
Break down the frame data. There might be faster characters. I don't know, or there's going to be something that will be. They'll balance it out in some capacity.
It just seems like those blades just give him a reach advantage over every other character except maybe Yoshimitsu, in terms of how far he's going to be able to. But
yeah, so he's either going to have bad defense or, stuff that can be easily parried.
Right.
Or a lot of interrupts or something, because he does spend a lot of time moving, so if you can interrupt the movement
up
stuff.
On his moves where you can, that sort of stuff that if you're a high-level fighting game player, you can easily abuse.
Yeah, so I heard this, but is it true that the connection here is cup noodles?
Well, no, because there's the thing where with the Injustice 2 release, it was sponsored with the trailer at the bottom. It was Domino's, which is relevant to that character.
Right.
And this one, it was sponsored by Cup Noodles.
So okay, that was the connection.
Coming up in a fighting game where the trailer has a sponsor thing at the bottom.
Yeah,
check to see if it's relevant.
Yeah, so I'm actually. It looked great. I'm actually surprised that. I don't know why I'm so surprised, but it actually looks like Square might have had a hand in it. And I mean, obviously they provided the assets, but it looked really smooth and it looked really good. I was really surprised at how well it looked like it was going to play out. And so I really want to...
A lot of people are thinking he would have been a better fit for Soul Calibur, but then a lot of people are like, oh, if that means Noctis is in this, that means there's room for Bloodborne Hunter in Soul Calibur.
Sure. I'm down with that.
Soul Calibur 6 is happening.
Wow. So let's piggyback fighting titles.
That's a game I'll play.
Dave, you own Injustice, right?
I do.
Did you happen to see the Fighter Pack 3 announcement?
I did.
And Matt, did you happen to see the Fighter Pack 3 announcement?
I did.
I like how they did 2 fake outs in that trailer too.
Yeah, they did. Because it's Rorschach. I mean, that was Rorschach.
No, and the first one was the side drop, and everyone's like, oh, it's Melina.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, I agree. But then having it be not 1, not 2, not 3, but all 4 TMNT turtles being the secret fighters coming to Injustice 2, do we really think that they are going to be allowed to pick any of the 4, or do we think it'll be one with assists? Excuse me.
It might be assists. They could do it like they did Triborg, though. Because he technically was Quadborg, was the hidden Cyber Sub-Zero. So they could easily do it like that.
And then just a palette swap for which turtle is on
or it could be
that doesn't. Yeah, if they, that'll be disappointing. Because I'd want to be Raphael, and they all fight so different.
I think it's going to be like Triborg, where you will hold a button or something and select which turtle, and then the other ones will come in as the trait.
Yeah,
I'm because they already have if you play Mortal Kombat and Injustice, you know that they reuse move assets. This will be Triborg.
I keep trying to do Mortal Kombat. Injustice Fighter Pack 3 reveal. I'm quickly looking up the reaction because someone actually had a phone out. Was it Ed
on his
Boon's?
Twitter?
Yeah, and the reaction was kind of insane. Everybody started losing their stuff at this tournament where they revealed it, and I was like, okay, I guess that's a valid response. I mean, I think it's awesome, but I don't think it's like that level of craziness. But I guess maybe not. Humvee makers are suing Activision over vehicles in Call of Duty, which to me seems like it's going to be a pretty uphill battle because it's not like they're naming the Humvees and they're the star of the show. They're just a vehicle that gets people from A to B. But Humvee is claiming that Activision has treaded on their goodwill over time. And I'm like, if it was a racing game starring Humvees, I could see where you'd need to license that. But it's not like movies have to license the right to use Humvee's image in a movie. They buy the Humvee and then they use it. So it's a weird...
Well, there is stuff there, though, because you notice in a lot of movies and shows, they've taken the labels and names off of different makes of cars because they can't use that without licensing rights.
Well, no, and a lot of times it's because that company chose not to pay them to represent or promote the image by using it in the movie. It's not that they had to license it and couldn't. It's that they approached them and they said, nope, we don't want to pay for it for you to show it in the movie.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Yeah.
I don't see how they're going to be able to pull off this, because also, couldn't it be a little more complicated? Because it's not like they have to license. You don't have to license anything from the military to show it in these games too, and technically they're military vehicles, so that might go under like a kind of like a Creative Commons like type of deal with that.
Yeah, I agree. It just seems like it's a weird.
I think they're looking at it from like, oh, Gran Turismo has to pay out all this money, to use all the cars. So we're going to do that for this, and it's just like, well, no, that's the star of the game,
right? And bad on their legal team for not researching this, because there is precedent for this, and it's very clearly says that it has to be one of the main characters or the main focus of the game,
right?
And yeah, there's a lot of Humvee action as they move from point A to point B, but it's not. Again, it's not like they're naming the Humvee Jonas. Oh, let's go get in Jonas and go from here to there. It's not like that. So
it's not like you're sitting. It's not like that's like the whole game is like, oh, we're gonna, maybe if the game was Call of Duty Convoy Driver.
Right, exactly. Humvee edition.
Yeah, maybe then you have a little bit, more of an argument.
Skyrim, LA Noire, Battlefront 2 all dropped this week. I will be picking up LA Noire next week. Sadly, I wasn't able to get it and Sims 4 this week. Thor Ragnarok continued to dominate the box office. We talked about Thor already ad nauseum, but yeah, it had a 50% drop in sales, but still was miles ahead of the number 2 entry. What else is even in the theater right now? Murder on the Orient Express, which I believe took... Wow, GameSpot must be down right now. That's the second time that it has done that. I can't pull up the page. Box office results for... Box office results for... Here we go. So, I believe it was number 2 or number 3. Oh, I'm sorry, Daddy's Home 2. That was the next one, and then Murder on the Orient Express. Yeah.
That just makes me sad that was number 2.
It's number 2, all right.
Yeah, but look at the gap.
A pile of number 2.
So think about this. It had 120 its first weekend, 57 its second weekend, but it's still basically 30 million above Daddy's Home 2. And then I'm actually really sad to see Murder on the Orient Express come in at number 3.
That seemed like it was going to be a bigger movie, but
I'm hoping it has a long tail. We're gonna try and go see that, I think, tomorrow night. Because now I'm afraid it's actually not going to make it more than a couple weeks in theaters, which I'll be sad about.
I just saw. I went to the GameSpot site just to check to see if it was up for me. I was able to get into it, and I saw a quick review roundup for Sonic Forces. And good news, everybody! Sucky Sonic games are back. So if anybody was worried that they were trying to turn the ship around,
I heard it was awful.
Yeah, if anybody was worried they're turning the ship around with Sonic Mania, don't worry. Everything's back to normal. They don't give a crap anymore.
I watched videos of people playing it, and it was just like... The thing about why Sonic could never keep up with Mario is they try so hard to make Sonic like an edgelord.
Yeah.
Everything is like trying so hard to be edgy, but it's like when a 9-year-old is trying to be edgy, and it's just like, oh, this is so pathetic.
That's why it was so much better, just like on the Genesis days, because like they just couldn't with that. Like they were able to give him a smirk at best, and you're like, okay, that's great. Oh look, he's tapping his foot and looking at his watch, waiting for you to move on screen if you do the hold animation. That's awesome. All right, that's enough story. Like, let's just go play the game, and it's just about,
That series died when Shadow held a gun.
God, I've been trying to forget that.
I forgot that I also watched I forgot to mention I also watched The Foreigner and Killing of a Sacred Deer. And The Foreigner was really good, but very odd to see Jackie Chan in a anti-Jackie Chan role, where he's gleefully murdering people. It's kind of weird.
He's only like 60. It's about time he was able to break the mold.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that almost as weird as that is seeing Pierce Brosnan using a Irish accent, which he is Irish, but he played Bond for so long and curbed his lilt, his Irish lilt, so that he sounded like a Brit. And to hear him in full-on Irish brogue, it's pretty impressive and scary.
Is that like listening to David Tennant in full Scott mode?
Yes, that is exactly what it's like. It's like you look at it and you go, does he really sound like that? Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Or like the day you first hear what Gary Oldman really sounds like.
Yes, exactly that.
Or half the cast of Game of Thrones.
Or Rick from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Daredevil. He's British.
Yep. Or what's her face from Suicide Squad? Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie.
11. Charlie Heaton.
Yeah. Lots of fighting game news this week. They showed off the first of Fatal Fury's Geese Howard in action in Tekken 7. Yet another reason I want to buy the game, because he looks amazing and I want to play him. Art of Fighting is one of my favorite series. So
I was just trying to say, isn't that Art of Fighting?
It is Art of Fighting, and
there's a lot of crossover going on.
A lot of crossover going on, and I'm loving it. I'm like they're kind of cherry picking all the best fighting games and giving at least one character serious love from all of them and putting them in Tekken, and I'm totally down with that.
So do you think they'll have any crazy DLC characters in Dragon Ball?
Oh my god, I would die.
I think all that guy in Dragon Ball art style would be pretty crazy.
Wait, to see,
because I mean,
I missed what
Saul,
you said.
that guy from Guilty Gear. Because it's the same company.
It's the same engine, but just the same company.
But just put him into there so he's in DBZ anime style, as opposed to like the Guilty Gear anime style.
I'd be down with that.
Although they probably put in a girl, because there's like so few female characters from Dragon Ball, so they probably put in someone like Elfelt or like Dizzy or someone like that.
Elfelt would be pretty cool.
Or they can just show it, or they can just like hammer in like Voldo or something like that and really mess with people.
Sailor Moon.
Nice.
Oh
that
my
would be
god,
so dope.
Sailor Moon would be pretty amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Even I would never play with her, so to speak, but still, I think that would be pretty amazing.
Especially because it's like there were 90s animes that brought anime to the American shores, and it was Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon.
Well, if you watch Goku's Super Saiyan Level 3 transformation, they could totally do the exact same thing for her transformation into Sailor Moon. I would be all over that. That'd be pretty awesome, actually. I would love to say Saitama as a crossover character, but he'd be
over in one punch.
Yeah, but kind of.
That would have to be a super glass cannon, and which wouldn't be.
There's the thing too that at this E3 is when, because of NetherRealm's history of cycling, this is the E3 Mortal Kombat 11 will be announced, and we did not see Spawn in Injustice 2. He'll be in Mortal Kombat 11.
We did not see who?
Spawn.
Oh, Spawn. Yeah, no, I fully... he's got to make an appearance here somewhere. I agree. Is there anybody else we could think of for crossovers for the DBZ game that would fit that art style? That would make sense.
Chrono Trigger.
Well, yeah, but kill me now if they did. That'd be amazing. Only if he can do
Chrono Trigger.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say only if he can do his tri attack and some of the that would be amazing. I would.
I mean, they could go deep, and they could do something like an Astro Boy or something like that.
That would be cool too,
or
actually.
Like Kira or Tetsuo or something like that.
Yeah, that might be pretty interesting.
That would be
because they could do anything. They just have to, because it would just be in the DB. Anything
art style, yeah. Respawn Entertainment, makers of Titanfall, are suddenly purchased by EA and tasked to work on Star Wars.
EA is truly the oracle of video games.
Yeah, oh my god, that is so accurate. I can't wait to see what they cancel on them now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't.
How many months will it be until Respawn closed?
Well, no, they'll put out Titanfall 3 with you can only DLC summon your Titan and
on the nose, sir, on the nose. Yeah, the timing is just too suspicious. I mean, they're taking whatever that Star Wars game was, rebuilding it to be multiplayer and DLC, and that makes me super sad. I'm sorry. I get the games as a service thing. It's a good business model, but you need a diverse portfolio, not everything to be the exact same thing.
Yeah, but
everything can't be FIFA? I don't believe that.
Everything can't be, World of Warcraft that's been around for 20 years and continually makes money.
They hate single player gamers.
Yeah.
Everyone except Naughty Dog and Insomniac, Sucker Punch.
Oh, I'm talking.
What do all these companies have in common? They turn toward a certain platform.
I haven't even been on here since Sucker Punch's new game was shown at Paris Games Week.
Oh my god, it looks so good.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, what is this? And it was
I really thought they were bringing back Unamusha, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. For a half a second, I thought it was going to be a new... Oh, my brain stopped working. My favorite, Bushido Blade. I thought it was going to be a new Bushido Blade thing that...
It could have been, yeah.
And I'm
I
like,
thought it was going to be...
But it was close enough.
Like a new Neo thing. But yeah, it was totally a new game.
Speaking of not new games, Deadpool is getting delisted again. It seems like Activision only brings it back whenever Deadpool is popular or relevant. I bet it... I mark this date. I am predicting now that when Deadpool 2 becomes popular again, suddenly this will be relisted on all the distribution platforms.
Speaking of Deadpool, if Disney bought Fox, what happens to Deadpool? Because they hate R-rated superheroes.
You know what? I think they would be smart enough to say, "Hey, we've garnered an audience here. Let's let it roll until it stops being popular."
I think they would keep the Fox label. I think still, and so those movies that are not ones they want on their normal Disney or Marvel label, they would put under the Fox label.
Yeah, I mean, because isn't Miramax under Disney?
I believe
might be. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Miramax is under Disney, and they've been doing a lot of crazy stuff over the years. So
it's a little different when it's like Marvel superheroes, though. I think that's why, because they want to market it to kids.
That is correct. Miramax is owned by the Disney company.
See, because the thing is, I mean, the one thing we have to, keep in mind is Disney has also been letting people kind of do their own thing at the same time. Like there really hasn't been too much of
micromanagement.
Except for the the one thing with the Star Wars where the guys that did the Lego movie were just apparently trying to do something just crazy, or it just wasn't working, or whatever.
Yeah.
We don't really know exactly what was going on, there, but I think if they see the formula is working, they're going to have to let it work. Otherwise, you're going to see people walking away from it. So,
yeah.
Which they've proven, that'll happen there too. So, all I want them to actually bring it on board, because this is the movie I want. I want a long shot. I want a Dazzler long shot movie based in the 80s, ending up in Mojo World. That's
as long as we get the companion Darkhawk teaming up with Cloak and Dagger movie, I'm fine with that.
That is, nobody wants that.
And nobody but you wants to yeah.
No, I'm telling you, dude. Based in the 80s, you got Dazzler having to listen to music, so you're going to have an awesome soundtrack. Lots of fun, crazy stuff happening because of Longshot's power. Dude.
What happens is Disney buys Netflix, and then Cloak and Dagger are found in the Upside Down, and Dazzler teams up with 11 to take on the Mind Flayer.
I'm okay with that too. Yeah, I'm alright with that. What GameStop?
Really
and Steve Harrington starts a school for young children. That
became the best character. I don't know how they turned him. I mean, that's got to be one of the best healed babyface turns.
Well, don't say anything. I'm not caught up. Yep. All right. Speaking of heel to heel turns, GameStop launched we talked about this the last time I was on the podcast, which was about 3 weeks ago. They created a used games program where you could pay a flat fee of $60 a month, or no, $60. I can't remember if it was for 6 months, and then you just go in and rent basically any title you want. And at the end of the 6-month period, you got to choose one of the games that you had rented and keep it. And after exactly 3 weeks of use, they dissolved the program, said we're putting it temporarily on pause, but made everybody take all the signage down. And the crazy part is, if you bring back whatever the last game is that you checked out, they're going to give you a free used game of your choice from the store for your inconvenience. But I'm guessing that it was a combination of factors of not enough stock on hand, and then secondly, their computer systems weren't able to handle it because they are using POS programs, and I'm not saying that as a bad acronym, I'm saying it as point of sale. Point of sale programs that are
at work.
15 years old plus. So I'm sure that it was all manual process for them.
Right, so it's a POS.
Right, exactly.
And if they're a retail POS, that means they're not a rental POS, which is a totally different focus.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. So maybe now a lot of conspiracy theorists are saying, oh, they stopped it because it's the beginning of the Christmas season and they make more money by selling the games at this point, the used games, than letting somebody take one home. Which is also true. So it could be a little of both, but I have a feeling it's more of they were not geared for the logistics of it, even in the tests that they were doing. There is a report that the company behind the Minions and Despicable Me are in talks to close an animated Mario movie deal. My only question is, what does a animated Mario movie look like at this point? Is it an origin story? Does it pick up directly after Mario Odyssey? Is it somewhere in between? How do you do that in this day and age? Because Mario's kind of like Mickey in that everybody knows who it is. So do you need an origin story at that point?
It's just a prolonged episode of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Do you animate Captain Lou Albano?
Yeah, you'd have to, because, unfortunately...
Just do a movie of the 7 Stars game. I would watch that movie 10 million times.
I have a feeling...
Actually, remake Super Mario Brothers, the image there, remake it in animated form.
but actually get Bob Hoskins and what's his name to actually revoice it.
John
Leguizamo.
Isn't Bob Hoskins dead?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but if they can reanimate Captain Lou Albano, they can reanimate him.
But they can just like rotoscope everything and do it like a Scanner Darkly, you know, and just re-release it, just like with that extra creepy sheen to it. I don't know.
Is it sad that that's the first movie I went to by myself?
Scanner Darkly?
No, Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, I totally was with you, Dave. I'm like, somebody let you go to watch Scanner Darkly by yourself as a child?
Well, that he wasn't a child when that came out. So.
No, I was able to drive myself to Super Mario Brothers. That's the only reason I saw it by myself, is because I could finally drive to.
Nice.
Take your money and flush it down the toilet now, because this movie sucks.
Honestly, I think the movie can just be, you know, an hour and a half of somebody playing Odyssey, and everybody would still be happy.
That is true. There is a joy that is in that game that is palpable.
It is just fun. So they need to capture that for the movie.
What was not palpable...
Okay. Well, going back to Mario Odyssey for a sec, where are you in the game in terms of levels?
I am to the fourth level. So I just finished the desert.
Have you gotten to the city yet, Dave?
Oh, I've beaten it.
No, he's beaten it. I haven't gotten to the city yet, no.
That part
is disturbing. I've seen the videos.
No. The gameplay section in the musical number is incredible.
Yeah, I haven't got that far yet.
Oh, man.
So God, good.
It's so good.
Speaking about what's not incredible, and that's Marvel Heroes. I played this game. I was very addicted to this game. It's basically Diablo with Marvel skins. But they became extremely...
That you kept trying to get us into.
I did when it was free and good. And then it became super money grab and super anti-player. And all of us that were playing left. And now on top, basically today, Marvel announced that it's withdrawing the license from Gazillion Entertainment, which is the company that creates the game. Now... What drove me insane is that all the news sites reported that Marvel is shutting down Marvel Heroes. Or Disney is shutting down Marvel Heroes. That is not correct. They are simply withdrawing their license. Now, when you say, I have a game that's based on the Marvel license, yes, I agree, that does limit your choices, but there are choices. You could host your own servers. You could revamp the game to not use Marvel IP and explain to your customer base and hope they stick it out with you. But they've already eroded all the customer base and supporters of the game anyway, so it really... So
just relaunch it as Heroes and pray that Marvel doesn't sue you for
copyright. Yeah. Well, I mean, if it was just named Heroes and it was individual original IP, I don't think there's much they could do at that point, to be honest.
They just changed the color. They just changed the
color swap and leave all the animation.
No, that would be a problem. That would be...
Change the names to like Spooderman and Professor
Wheelchair.
Moon.
Professor Wheelchair.
Professor Mood.
Damn it! I want that to be my new PSN handle, Professor Wheelchair. I like this. But yeah, so
wheels.
I think like I said, those of us that play it, we saw this coming a while back. They went dark on any kind of communication a couple months ago, and everybody kind of figured that was the beginning of the end. The PC game was in dire straits before the console game launched, and then the console kind of buoyed the company for a while, but then things went south. Also, there were a bunch of sexual predatory allegations and some bad stuff with the new CEO that probably led to Marvel yanking the license in the first place, because they were supposed to go through 2019. But yeah, so the question is, and this is the big conspiracy theory, is did Marvel yank the license because they already have another Marvel RPG in the works somewhere else that they wanted to give the license to, and that's why they yanked it early from Marvel Heroes. I hope yes, but we'll see.
Do they really
I don't know what's happening with that Square Enix Avengers game project, whatever it is.
It's just in development. They're not going to say anything until they got something, I think.
Do they need, if they own the license, do you need to yank it? I mean, are they really structured that way anymore? I mean, it's...
Well, no, they still own the license to their characters. For their non-movie characters, they own the license for everybody. It's only the movie characters that they don't own the license rights to. Now, if you remember, they made Marvel Heroes pull all the Fantastic Four characters from the game like 6 months back or 5 months back, somewhere in that range. They did that because they don't want to promote the Fantastic Four because it's a property that they don't own for the movies, but they own the rights to it. So they can put it in there in video games if they want to. Same with Spider-Man, same with all that stuff.
No, that's not my point. Like, it used to be that, you know, they were very specific with licensing rights for, like, you know, games and types and everything like that. So what I'm saying is that stuff structured that way anymore? Like, did they have a license to be the only, you know, Diablo clone game, you know, having that? And
yes, that was their exclusive license for that style of game, for action RPG, basically. Now they can make another one and give that license to someone else, but that wouldn't serve them more than likely because they're splitting their market share at that point.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's their license; they can do whatever they want. They can license it to as many people as they want. If you're asking if it was an exclusive just for this subsection, I don't think it was, but this is a little bit more complicated because Marvel actually did the servers and did all the network infrastructure and maintenance and all that type of stuff. So basically, Gazillion was programming the game, but Marvel was hosting the game. So that's why I say it. You know, when Marvel says we're revoking your license, it's not them shutting the game down. They're saying we're going to shut these services for the game down, but if they really wanted to try and salvage the game, they could. But seeing as how I think most of the staff's been let go and nobody really believes in the leadership team of the company, I doubt that's going to happen. I actually have a friend who used to do all the licensing for Star Wars and Garfield and Peanuts for all of South America. And so that stuff is super fascinating. It's a rabbit hole all in its own. And speaking about licensing, SNK, the company game behind all the Neo Geo and Art of Fighting and Samurai Showdown and King of Fighters and all that, they made a left turn a couple years ago to go the Konami route and do pachinko for everything. And they lost money. Well, last year, they said, nope, we are going to pivot back to focus only on making video games, and they are super profitable, and they are doing very well again. So for the first time, they are back in the black for years after focusing on their video games and it's a strategy and only doing video games, and all these crossovers with other companies are helping as well. So I'm super interested in that. I wrote on the thing, take note, Konami. Hashtag Konami hates gamers, because...
Who knew that you'd eventually start losing money if you only focus for your customer base on people with a gambling problem?
Well, it's tried and true.
So you're saying Electronic Arts fans. Oh,
I see what you did there, and I approve.
SNK has, like, they dominate the Nintendo releases on the Switch.
Oh yeah, my God,
virtual console.
9/10 of them.
Like, they have, like, you know, at least a game a week that comes out on there.
And you have to think that they have to be at least making their development costs back on all those ports, otherwise they'd stop doing them.
It's got to be nothing to port them over. That's the thing.
Well, it's not nothing. I mean, they do have to recompile the code, re-optimize. That's time. But beyond that, that's all they're investing.
Dude, you're not making a game from scratch.
Right, agreed.
It's not them natively doing it. They're licensing
just
it out
like
to
one
a couple
or
of
two
studios
guys
that are
just go
doing
like
it.
done.
Yeah.
It's an emulator. Let's be honest.
It's easy money. It's easy money.
I don't know that that's true, Dave. I mean, like the old games, yes, but they are building new games from scratch, like King of Fighters 14, or was it? Yeah, King of Fighters 14, not the year 14.
Yeah, 14.
But the actual number 14.
Number 14.
Yeah, that was a brand new game from the ground up that is not emulated. So they're making stuff for different platforms still, but I think it's a mix.
It's probably that they're able to do that now because all that porting from Virtual Console is low risk, high reward.
Right.
This is like one or two guys at a desk just going like, this thing's done, and making like 200% profit.
Yep. Patreon has some competition because Kickstarter has announced a Patreon-like subscription service called Drip, as in drip content, that you can now subscribe to. They're saying right now that it's invite only to start for creators. It's a very small group of musicians, etc. They're going to open it up next year, but that's interesting that that another company has decided that being an intermediary on subscription services is a good business model.
Yeah, that's not new. Drip is not new.
No, but it almost went out of business, and then Patreon Kickstarter scooped in and bought them, and it's been completely silent for almost, I think, 2 years.
Yeah, what's the?
I think this thing actually spells it out. I'm just wanting to stop the video before it starts because every IGN link now has video that auto plays every time it loads. No, I do not want.
There's nothing redeemable about that site.
No, I like IGN. It's fine, but the issue I have with it is that you should be able to like set some kind of preference to not autoplay the videos,
or just like click play if you actually want to play the video instead of going there and having it hijack everything on your machine.
Yeah. Drip was 2012.
Yeah, I remember. There's an artist I really like, Mike Dowdy. Anybody know him?
I've heard of him, but I don't know his stuff.
He used to be the lead in Soul Coughing. If you remember that group. Thanks. But he's like since gone like solo, and he I think he used Drip for a while for kind of like releasing music and kind of like subscribe to it, but that like quickly dried up. I remember that kind of went nowhere, and now he's been on Patreon, for that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting seeing that come back, and they must have just did an acquisition just to kind of get the framework together so they can just roll it out real quick.
Yep.
But just using Kickstarter's network.
So I don't know if any of you saw this, but earlier, I think it was late last week, early this week, there were a bunch of places, CNN, other outlets, that picked up an EA game dev who said they'd received death threats over the loot box stuff. Did you see that? Dave, did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw this follow-on article, so yeah, I know where you're coming at.
Yeah, so...
I didn't get a chance to read this article yet, no.
Okay, so Kotaku, which a lot of people say is a fluff site, they actually have some really good video game journalism, and this guy did a full press to find out who this game dev was. Oh, and it turns out it's not actually a game dev. And he was lying about the whole thing. And this thing got picked up by major network news outlets, and this video game journalist did more journalism than any of those people did to actually find out who this guy was it a credible claim, etc. And in the end, oh, it's not. So for people who say video game journalism is dead, I present this as evidence otherwise. Yeah, and that's the news. Did I miss anything? Is there anything we didn't discuss that was a burning issue? Was there anything that I didn't discuss that was a news issue that you wanted to discuss?
No.
Dave, did I miss anything for you?
I don't think so.
Okay. Then that's going to bring us to our final thoughts in a second after we do our thank yous. So this is the part of the show where we like to thank all of our patrons for subscribing at the $5 and above level. So, of course, I would like to thank Regina, Justin, John, Ian, Bobby, and Naomi. Yes, thank you. That's the 6th one. And, of course, thank you to Arturo, because sadly I still haven't updated the scroll. You can get your name on every show that we do by simply subscribing at the $1 level or above, and I'll do that here at the end of the show. If you'd like to follow us, you can follow us on Twitter at Gamersledge. That's also where our news feed is that we go through every single week. We're at facebook.com/Gamersledge. We're at Gamersledge.com, so do visit our website there as well. And, of course, that brings us then to final thoughts for the night. Let's start with Dave. Dave, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I don't know. I don't really have any thoughts right now. Like none.
You've had enough Tullamores do that.
No, it's not that. I just I got nothing this week. I just
not even a play Mario Odyssey.
No, because everybody's doing that already.
all 5 people that have been able to buy a Switch.
Nah, Switches are out there now, right?
Yeah, I think they are.
More, but still not that much. You can't walk into any store and just get one.
No, that's true.
Well, then, in that case, if you have no final thoughts, then we'll move to Kate. Kate, your final thoughts.
I didn't think the music at work could get any more depressing until this week. The past few weeks, it's been all Tom Petty and Tragically Hip, because Downey both died. So, but now this week, it's still a lot of Tragically Hip and Tom Petty, but now there's Christmas music mixed into it. It's just super like, I just want to die.
That is a depression cocktail if I've ever heard one.
That is awful.
And I mean, I like Tom Petty and Gord Downey. It's just when they're dead, it's just like, ah.
Well, on that uplifting note, Matt, your final thoughts.
I'm caught up on comic books.
Wow.
Yeah, actually, I only did the ones I picked up today are the only ones I have in my possession that I have not read. I've read all of my trades, and I have read all my single issues.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I'd like to give kudos to how easy PlayStation made it to hook up an external hard drive, and how difficult Nintendo made it to hook up an external hard drive.
Wait, you're giving kudos to Nintendo?
Yeah, kudos for being difficult. That's what they enjoy, right?
Okay.
They like making things hard on people, so obviously they succeeded.
Yeah.
They put a nice shiny candy apple red coating on their sadism.
I approve this message. So yeah, but yeah, the big accomplishment is aside from the ones I picked up today, I literally haven't had a chance to yet. I am totally caught up on comics. So ask me anything about any of the comics I read, and I probably won't remember because I'm old and I forget things.
Okay, I have a question about all the comics you've read.
Okay.
When you look at the pile that you've read, do you feel that you wasted your money?
Not most of the time. There's a few titles in there. It's just like, ugh, man, if I didn't need this just to make sure that the whole collection was together, I just would have given up.
All right, I have a question.
Okay.
Of the stack of comics that's back there, which one was the best one?
Ooh, which one was the best one? The one that's probably objectively I'm going to answer the one that I think is objectively the best versus the one that I like the most.
Okay.
I think objectively the best is probably still Saga.
Lies.
But I actually enjoyed the main Star Wars title the most of all the books I've read. Sadly, the author has moved on to other things, so we've got a new author starting with the latest issue.
How did we not talk about J. Michael Straczynski being... Why was that not in the newsfeed? Was that last week?
You mean Bendis?
Or, yeah, Bendis going exclusively to DC. Sorry.
I haven't heard anything about Straczynski in years.
No, because in my mind, Bendis and Straczynski are Spider-Man. And so that's why I do that all the time, actually.
Yeah, that was last week. I think we
okay. If you talked about it, that's fine. Sorry.
I don't remember how long we talked about it. Probably not very long, but yeah, no, it's an interesting thing. We'll see what happens.
All right. And my final thought is, Justice League. The reviews are starting to come in from critics. There have been actually some very interestingly worded reviews. If nothing else, I suggest that you take the time to look at the different reviews from the different outlets. One of them equated it to a scone that had been iced by a different baker than the person who made the scone, and that elevated the scone, but not to the point, that it was like a great scone, but it was better than if they hadn't.
So literally, they're saying that What's His Nugget came in and polished the turd to the point where it was tolerable, but that's about it.
Well, it depends on the reviewer. That was that person's review. There were a lot more. I think the most scathing one was like, you've had 5 years to figure out what your direction is for these movies, and you can't even figure it out in this movie, so stop doing it. Basically, you look across the aisle, see that the other people are doing it better, figure out how they're doing it, and stop doing it until you figure it out.
Well, the main difference, right? It's the same thing we were talking about with games. It's story by boardroom versus story by creator.
Yep, I agree. Which is crazy because John's is like the ultimate.
Just let Wonder Woman jump away and do her own thing and let the rest of the DCEU just burn.
Well,
the Flash throw her so hard she goes into another dimension and we start over.
Well, I think that's actually going to happen. I think we know that Flash is Flashpoint. I think they're going to reset the entire universe at that point anyways.
Because Batfleck can't make up his mind if he wants to be Batfleck or not.
Well, Batfleck does not want to be Batfleck.
In 2017, 2016 was the era of all my favorite celebrities are dead. This year is all my favorite celebrities are scumbags. They need to dump Ben Affleck and Joss Whedon because they're just bad PR right now. And just start over with Wonder Woman at the helm rather than Batman.
Yeah.
Well, clearly Wonder Woman is at the helm because they can't make a good movie. Can't make a good movie with anybody else.
Yeah. We'll end the show as we always do with a antidote to take you through your week. So this one I specifically chose just for Dave.
Oh, that's the worst thing I could possibly hear right now.
So Dave,
he's not drunk enough for this.
What do you get? What do you get when you combine a rhetorical question and a joke?
That's the joke.
Until next week, game on.
That one hurt.
Sup, McBain. Watch Punisher starting Friday.
It's not getting great reviews.
Yeah, it's getting mixed reviews too.